Warning, this content may be disturbing to some audiences. Subscribe. If you dare. I spent thousands on Dominos the past few years. Small cheese pizza. Every time. Even when the medium or large was cheaper. Number 1. Hey everybody, welcome to ANECDOSED. People ask Reddit. What stupid thing did you spend tons of money on? Went to a different city to meet a girl I met on the internet and booked flight tickets and hotels in advance for 3 days, but she didn't turn up. This is one of the biggest regrets of my life. Number 2. Booze. Effing alcohol. I don't even want to know how many tens of thousands of dollars I've dropped on it. Was it fun at the time? Sure, I guess. Except the hangovers. And regrettable behavior while drunk. And it eventually screwed with my brain chemistry so much that it changed my personality and I became depressed and riddled with the anxiety that I thought I was drinking away. Turns out it just makes it worse in the long run. A friend once said getting drunk is basically just borrowing happiness from tomorrow. True enough, but the trade-off isn't fair at all, and ultimately if you use it frequently it's just purely destructive, even if it does provide a few laughs at the time. So much money spent on that stuff, but I've been sober for 6 months now, finally feeling almost normal again, and I'm never looking back. Number 3. Laser hair removal. $1,500 and didn't work. Edit, L didn't expect this to get much traction. Let me answer some questions and add a little more info. I am very fair-skinned with very light blonde hair. I didn't know at the time that it really only worked on high contrast areas. My fault for not doing enough research. I live in the US where, as someone else pointed out, this isn't regulated. This also took place 12 years ago and the company is no longer in business. So as a result, I make sure and read the fine print and research a ton more than I used to, almost to a fault. Number 4. World of Warcraft. Was legit addicted to it for a long time. Completely ignored and dropped out of my first year of college in favor of working part-time and playing WoW for about 10 to 12 hours per day. Finally broke the habit after about 6 total years of playing. Now, 7 years after quitting, I still feel the urge to go back to it sometimes. Shit is crazy addicting. And no, I didn't really enjoy it and don't consider it worth it. I'm a completionist. At a certain point it became work and not really play anymore. It still occasionally bugs me that there are achievements/mounts that I never got. The need to try and get everything was what kept me playing. Edit, all 500 people that told me I should come back to play Classic. You're all terrible people. Edit 2, yeah, it's not technically a ton of money, but I also dropped out of college, and finally went back like 7 years later. I look at it as a 7-year delay on my career, since I work in IT, which is what I was planning originally anyway. 7 extra years of experience equates to a lot of extra money. Number 5. A metal detector for when I lost my college ring. I lost the ring during a party I threw. I thought I lost it outside and freaked out and bought a metal detector to find it. Turns out it was on my desk underneath a dollar bill. Number 6. I was really horny and drunk, so I bought a custom sex doll for $3,000. I take it to the shower after use to clean it and use microfiber towels to dry it, and she's not single anymore. It's not too bad to clean and it was worth it till I got myself a real girlfriend and she found it when I was not there. She dressed it up and waited for me to get off work. I was so embarrassed. Number 7. Cigarettes. Such a waste. It'll be 10 years since I quit next year. Damn. Yes, I quit smoking almost 10 years ago. For those asking how I did it, I literally did everything in my power to keep my mind occupied. For me it was gaming and video editing. Before I knew it, I went a month without tobacco. For those struggling, I'd suggest finding a hobby you love and dive into it to occupy the time you'd normally be smoking. If you truly want to quit, you'll find a way. Never stop trying. And for those suggesting vaping, no thanks. I remember when vapes and e-cigarettes were new. I tried to quit smoking. It made things worse. With a cigarette there is an end, with vaping I could sit for hours puffing away. I know there are safeguards, but still, I'd overuse it. Number 8. I spent thousands on Dominos the past few years. Small cheese pizza. Every time. Even when the medium or large was cheaper. A really strange preference I could not get rid of. It started when my father passed unexpectedly from cancer and I found myself too depressed to cook. He was the person I talked to most. Had it once a day on really bad weeks. Been eating more diverse meals lately, but I still have some cravings. Ironically gained weight when I quit the trend, haha. Luckily the staff were super chill. Although they had so many new hires, I'm convinced I may have funded them myself. Ha ha. My suspicions weren't far off as it turns out. Later, the manager personally thanked me and said I helped the business a lot. Not my proudest feat. Number 9. Cocaine. At my peak I was dropping $100 to $200 per week. Yikes. Completely dissolved my septum and needed plastic surgery to fix it because I snored like a bison's mating call. I have a cadaver's rub rib cartilage in my face acting as my septum. Bad times. That is to say the coke itself was good times. So many great memories. The nose issues were not. Edit, since I keep getting asked, it was $50/gram in Baltimore. I would do all-nighters a couple times a week, usually on weekends. But definitely not every day. I had a 9-to-5 office job. Number 10. I used to work 2 jobs full-time. One making $23/hour and the other was serving, which is tons of cash. I sometimes went 60 days without a day off. My bills were like $1,800 per month from paying off school and rent and food, then other than that just the regular clothes budget and whatever. I was netting over $6,000 a month for a year and a half. Guess who has no money a year after finally quitting working like a psycho? I think my booze and drug habit must have been costing well over $2,000 most months for over a year. And now I don't have the energy or willpower to ever work like that again because it was just exhausting and soul crushing. Anyone reading this, if you work extra to pay for fun stuff and that fun stuff is partying, you aren't going to save more money by working more. You're just going to spend more money on blow. Number 11. I haven't done this in a while, but I used to spend ridiculous amounts of money commissioning artists online. While it's not really a stupid thing to spend money on, because I like to support artists as much as I can, it got to a point where I was spending half of my wages or sometimes more on them. Honestly, it was almost like I was addicted to just throwing money at artists to see my characters portrayed in different genres and scenarios. I still enjoy looking at the various pieces I commissioned, but every time I see them now I can't help but cringe at how many there and how much money I must have spent in total. Super easy trap to fall into if that's your thing. Number 12. Commenter. I just got into guns within the last year or two. 3 attempted break-ins made me reconsider my stance on owning guns. 4th break-in attempt I ran off a dude trying to open my front door at 1:30 a.m. with my brand new Maverick 88. No more attempted break-ins after that. I thought, well hell, that was pretty effective, maybe I should get 00 and more, just in case. Now I'm up to 4 and want more. I'm always looking out for deals. I just picked up a second job yesterday, and the first thing I thought to myself when they said welcome aboard wasn't oh hey, now I can put some money away, it was oh hey, I'll be able to get that sweet ass Ruger now. What started as a necessity for home security became my most expensive hobby. And I'm fine with that, guns are effing rad. Person B. Oh hell yeah brother. Went from a small collection to 2 safes, now I'm up to a whole room. I literally overloaded a 1-ton truck with my ammunition reserves. Then I dig the bullets back out of the berm, recast them and start all over. Person C. is an addiction. Started with 1, got my second 2 days later. That was 8 years ago, now I have more than 130. I don't think it's stupid though, mostly. Some of it is though, especially the drunk bid guns. What's stupid is how much I don't protect my investment. I toss them in a pile in my car. Right now they're in my secure gun room just piled on tables. Person D. I've already spent over $1,000 of my limited budget on rifles. And I live in the shitty state of New York. Once I move to Texas I hope I get a job that will sustain the arsenal I will buy for myself. I'm already talking myself into spending $5,000 on an authentic FN manufactured full rifle should I get the opportunity. And around $1,000 for a Browning high-power pistol. I will drop a ridiculous sum for my dream guns. Number 13. I was made for this. I bought a $800 mountain bike I've used twice. A $600 camera I use occasionally. I just bought a brand new car in 2017 for $23,500. I bought a motorcycle 3 weeks ago and spent $2,500 for the bike and another $1,000 on gear/registration. My computer setup was over $4,000. I spend about $200 to $300 a month on food just for work. Send help. I can't stop. So I went out with my camera to take some shots of a nearby lake, but it started to downpour so I had to head back home. Number 14. Commenter. Renaissance Festival outfits/costumes. I do fest every year, and have been since '93. I paid over $500 for a custom-made headpiece from Denmark, another $200 on leather boots, $150 on actual bodice and chemise, and another $400 plus on accessories. That's just one outfit. I also have 2 custom gowns, just ordered a third, and am working on a pirate costume. I have over $3,000 in stuff I wear 5 to 6 times a year. Person B. This is my life now. Mrs. CB has easily spent over $4,000 in the last 2 years at Renfests. New bodices, new shirts and skirt hikes, and mugs, and admission, and foods, and jewelry, and perfumes, and daggers, and the list goes on and on and on. Big oof. I like going to watch the shows. She likes going shopping. I might be reinfected out this year. Number 15. Commenter. 2 days ago, in Bangkok, Thailand, there was a place called Siloam Market/Street with a bunch of strip clubs and things related. My friends and I, 6 females, 4 males, Vietnamese, just wanted to know what a red light district looks like, and thought that it would be totally fine if we only saw some stripping shows then leave. None of us planned to spend a night with a dancer there. A man approached us and tried to take us to his bar. He said there was a free bikini show, ping pong show. And all we need to pay would just be 100 baht for a beer. It was not that cheap beer which took us to that bar, we just didn't choose a place to go yet, so we said yes and followed him. The bar looked normal with some bikini wearing dancers dancing, and there was one dancer doing some tricks with her pussy. It was so horrible and terrifying that we couldn't stand and decided to leave. The owner didn't let us go without paying him 8,000 baht, saying that we had watched the show. We ordered 10 beers and only sat there for like nearly 10 minutes. And yeah, we had to pay 8,000 baht, about $300, for 10 beers. Sorry for my English, still learning. Person B. This is a famous scam with a lot of variants. One of the old guys at my work had this happen to him a few years ago on a solo holiday to Amsterdam. I'm not even gonna ask what he was there for. He's walking down the street, pretty drunk already. 2 guys come up and convince him to see a strip show in an upstairs bar. He goes up and the place is empty apart from 2 bouncers, a bartender, and a woman in a bikini. She comes over and starts chatting him up, asking if he'll buy her a cocktail, which he does like a sucker, but the place is dimly lit with red lights like a darkroom, and the menu is done in tiny text, so he can't. Make sure to share your personal story in the comments below and have the opportunity to be featured in a future video. Also, if you like these topics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to continue seeing more content like this every day. See you next time.